Всем привет! Вы на канале Винфло и с вами Данияр. Сегодня я хочу посвятить два видео специальных о том, что как Фил Найт отзывается о своем друге Билл Баумане. Вообще сама история становления компании очень интересна и уникальна. Мы знаем, что Nike это семя инноваций, поэтому всем внимание на экран.
To this point, probably the biggest handshake of my life. Bill Bauman is a unique human being, period, the end. That you don't meet people like him. As I remember, it was maybe an hour and a half lunch because we hadn't seen each other for a year or two, and he was very impressed with the samples, and he says, get as wide a distribution as you can. And he said, why don't you let your old coach in on this? And I says, what do you have in mind? And he says, how about you have 51 and I have 49? And then I said, well, you got to put up half the money then. And he said, I will. So there again, first he wants in. Two, he's willing, he's not a wealthy man by any means. I mean, he's a college professor, basically. My training at Stanford Business School would say, don't give away half the company. And the flip side of it, this is Bill Bauman, and he's given the ultimate endorsement. And as some shrinks have said later, part of the reason you do this company is so you could stay associated with Bauman, who you admired so much. But all of those things were going through my head, but the overriding emotion was excitement, really a thrill, actually. I said, here we go, and this is going to be really great. When the lunch ended, we got up and we shook hands on the deal and parted. Well, we didn't know at the time, at the exact same moment, January 25th, 1964, 250 miles south in a small Oregon lumber town, a candle was being lit. It was Steve Roland Prefontaine's 13th birthday. I think really the Nike culture, which is one of its great strengths, really comes out of that handshake. The positive emotion, the athletic field, the father-son, the commitment, the honesty, the trust, all those positive things that a handshake represents, I think, really have filtered down to this day, 50 years later, where it still impacts us. And I hope so. I hope that's true, and I hope it's true 50 years from now. At the beginning, the formula was simple. So simple, in fact, it was less a formula and more of an instinct. Sign athletes in who we saw something of ourselves. Competitive, outspoken, determined to win.
You cannot be serious!
And if they were a bit rough around the edges, well, then so were we. We valued them not merely as spokespeople for the brand, but for what they could tell us as well.
I am not a role model.
About the products we made for them, sure, but also about what it meant to be in the game. It kept us honest. It kept us inspired. It kept us real. Through the years, we aligned ourselves with athletes across the globe and across the spectrum of sport. Always listening to what they had to say so we could give them what they needed to win. But what they gave in return was so much more. Moments that reminded us of our purpose and of our passion for sport. Moments of triumph and of tragedy. Moments of drama and dominance. Moments that moved the world forward and that moved us to tears. Moments that allowed us to share in some of the most epic achievements in sports history, and at times to support those determined to change it. But to those who may argue that for a generation with virtually unlimited opportunities for distraction and diversion at its fingertips, sports matters less than it once did, and athletes are no longer a source of inspiration, we say this: the connection to sport and to the athletes who play it is not a choice for Nike. It is the core of Nike, the original spark and the enduring flame that fuels everything we do. Born of love for all that sports gives to us, shared by billions, across every border and every boundary, generation and gender. Because amid the distraction and the diversions, the nonsense and the noise, sport remains the crucible by which we reveal our character, the portal to opportunities otherwise unimaginable, and the benchmark of what is humanly possible. Sport remains real. And so long as we remain dedicated to keeping our minds on the task, our eyes on the horizon, and our hearts in the game, so do we.